एक एक्टर जिसने सिनेमा हॉल्स को रूल किया, अब तमिलनाडु को लीड कर रहा है। Welcome to this explainer. Today we are unpacking the absolutely massive transition of Thalapathy Vijay. We're talking about a guy literally going from a cinematic superstar to facing the grueling everyday reality of political power.
लेकिन चीफ मिनिस्टर बनने के बाद विजय के सामने सबसे बड़ी चैलेंज क्या है और क्यों पूरा इंडिया उनकी हर मूव को देख रहा है? Well, that's exactly what we're going to figure out. We're going to break down the wild 2026 election results, look at the mechanics of his brand new government, and really dig into the gritty reality of administration that's waiting for him.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Chapter 1, The Historic Victory. So you have to understand, the 2026 Tamil Nadu election didn't just change the government. It completely flipped the entire political landscape on its head. It literally shattered a 59-year-old tradition. For decades, power basically bounced back and forth almost exclusively between two Dravidian giants, the DMK and the AIA-DMK. Since 1967, it was essentially a total political duopoly. But then enter the TVK era. Vijay's brand new party steps into its very first election and just breaks the wheel, emerging as the largest assembly force we've seen since the 1960s.
And the numbers are just staggering. 108. In their debut election, TVK contested completely alone and snagged 108 seats with nearly 35% of the popular vote. Just to put that into perspective, they blew past even the wildest exit polls out there. It's a massive, unprecedented debut win. Honestly, we haven't seen an actor-turned-politician pull off something quite like this since M.G. Ramachandran way back in 1977.
But here's where the math gets incredibly tricky. Despite that massive win, 108 seats actually fall short. The Tamil Nadu Assembly needs 118 seats for a majority out of the 234 total. So, TVK had 108, the SBA coalition secured 73, and the AIA-DMK alliance took 53. What does that mean? It means Tamil Nadu just got its first ever hung assembly. And just like that, Vijay was instantly pulled into the delicate, complicated reality of coalition politics.
What followed was basically a frantic, high-stakes week of political horse trading. First, the Indian National Congress leaves their previous alliance to formally join hands with TVK. Then, left parties like the CPI and CPIM step in to offer unconditional outside support. They ensured stability without actually taking any cabinet roles. And finally, after all this intense coalition building, TVK comfortably passes the floor test with 144 votes to 22, making C. Joseph Vijay officially the 9th Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu.
Moving right along to Chapter 2, Power to Responsibility.
So, the campaign trail celebrations are over, right? The cinematic momentum is crested, and now comes the really heavy burden of actual governance. The crucial point here is understanding the ideology driving this new government. TVK operates on a core philosophy called Madhasarhapatra Samuganidhi, which translates to secular social justice. And this isn't just a catchy buzzword, it's a structured system of egalitarianism, active secularism, and state autonomy. They draw these roots directly from historical icons: Periyar for social reform, B.R. Ambedkar for constitutional rights, and Rani Velu Nachiyar for women's empowerment.
And they're backing up this ideology with hard numbers. Check out their 10 guarantees. We're talking about a 2,500 rupee monthly grant for women heads of households, a massive 25 lakh rupees in health insurance per family, 200 units of free electricity, and a 4,000 rupee monthly allowance for unemployed graduates. What you really need to take away from this is that TVK is treating these as active, financially backed implementation orders. They aren't just vague promises anymore. The clock is officially ticking on delivery.
All right, Chapter 3, The Growing Political Influence.
You see, TVK's rapid ascent isn't just shaking up local politics, it is heavily pressuring traditional parties and totally redefining state-center dynamics. They are strictly enforcing a two-language policy, Tamil and English only, firmly resisting any Hindi imposition. Plus, they're demanding the absolute abolition of NEET and even pushing to abolish the governor's post entirely. Their argument? An unelected union appointee shouldn't be able to override an elected state assembly. It's a remarkably strong stance on educational and cultural federalism, making Tamil Nadu the absolute epicenter of India's federalism debate right now.
Which brings us to Chapter 4, What happens next? The governance test.
Because, guys, the honeymoon period, it is officially over. The microscopic scrutiny of daily administration has well and truly begun. Just look at their very first month in power. On May 12, the state appoints an astrologer as an officer on special duty. Obviously, that sparked instant backlash and they literally had to revoke the order the very next day. By late May, protests are erupting in Vellore over alleged extortion demands by local party functionaries. And in early June, a 16.8 lakh rupee water tank tender in Kanchipuram gets abruptly cancelled because of bidding irregularities. It's been a busy, bumpy month.
And these early stumbles lead directly into some really systemic, ongoing governance challenges. The new administration is already facing severe pushback over the state's law and order situation following recent crimes. They're dealing with legal petitions alleging that the chief minister was deliberately shielded from FIRs regarding a tragic stampede at a pre-election rally. And on top of all that, there's this intense microanalysis over how they're actually going to fund those massive welfare budgets we just talked about. This is the gritty friction between cinematic momentum and the harsh, unforgiving reality of running a state.
So, we end with this final provocative thought. एक superstar का political journey शुरू हो चुका है. The actor who reigned supreme on the silver screen has now conquered the ballot box. लेकिन अब सवाल ये नहीं है कि विजय जीत गए. सवाल ये है, can he truly deliver on his promises? क्या वो तमिलनाडु का future बदल पाएंगे? या politics cinema से ज़्यादा difficult साबित होगी? It's a massive challenge and we'll definitely be watching closely. Thanks for joining me for this explainer and keep exploring the fascinating stories behind the headlines.